What's up chaps, I'm Magical Mike and it's that time of year again where we chat about the previous videos on the channel, see which promises I made and or kept from last time, and come up with some ideas for the next year of content, although once again I am a month late with this video, but nothing changes apparently. So let's start off with what I suggested for 2018. The first thing being that the Path of Fire review that I promised to do. Yeah, that was kind of the main big thing I wanted to do. You guys even asked for it in the comments and I was absolutely sure that I would follow up on that. But I didn't though, did I? And this is why I like the phrase under-promise and over-deliver, because I hate when I welch on my promises like that, and it just kind of happened. So the POF review was a bit of a project when I started to look at it in scope. I had a lot of incredibly scattered thoughts on the expansion, and had not even started to write them down and organise them yet. So it was a jumbled mess in my head, and just the mere thought of trying to make sense of it all made me not really want to find the time to do it. The more I put it off, just trying to write it, the more time passed since its release, and the idea of a review became less and less relevant, to the point where I just cut it off. It didn't seem very worth the time at some point, and worse still, I kind of stopped playing the game again, just like I did shortly after HOT released, the difference here being that I stopped because I finished everything and enjoyed it, rather than out of boredom and frustration with Heart of Thorns. The Living Story episodes revitalised it again for short times after each release, but not enough to make me want to do a whole review on the expansion or on any of those individual releases. So the final result being that what I said in last year's mini review ended up being the full review. So here it is again if you didn't spot that one. Expansion was great, I loved it, but not a massive amount of replayability overall, and that's kind of it really. Next up, I introduced the Recently In concept, and I stand by this series idea. It's a short form chat about a game that I'd like to share. Easy enough to make, but still scripted. And I did a few more of them in 2018, recently in Skyrim, where I talked about replaying the game again with mods and talked about 3 different builds that I'd messed with. Recently in Race Driver Grid, which was a racing game, recommended in the comments of another Recently In video that I followed up on, so thanks for that. Gran Turismo 1 and 2 in separate videos because I got into the nostalgia of PlayStation 1 stuff and wanted to see if they still held up these days, and Silent Hill 1 and 2, both in one video as a short comparison, and again to see if the nostalgia was propping them up or if they really were worthy of being true classics. And I think they were, yeah. If you're interested, you can watch my entire playthroughs of both Silent Hill games on Twitch. Those are available in the collections there. It's kind of like playlists. Anyway, you'll find it if you want to. Anyway, Recently In is pretty much a vlog series for games I play, and I'm happy with it that way. I wanted to do more quids in reviews too, but the problem is that they take way too long to make, and I really need better inspiration to differentiate them from the casual Recently In series, which is a lot harder than you might think actually when I really just want to move on and play more stuff instead of distracting myself with trying to get specific footage for a review. So the only one that made it out was a review of Shift 2 Unleashed, another driving game, but one I enjoyed greatly. I thought that video turned out super well, but it's not the norm on my channel, so it didn't get much attention. And because of that, it sort of kills my motivation and enthusiasm for making them. Do I want to? Sure, yes, but can I justify the time and effort? Iron Man went the same way really. I did a dirt rally video at Pikes Peak, and I reckon it's still a fun one to watch back and see how much I've improved since. I've had more ideas of Iron Man stuff to do, I just haven't got round to any of it. I don't really know if there's much reason for that beyond being in the mood for it. And it's not like there's no games to suit, plenty of hardcore modes, or I can come up with plenty of ideas and have done. I have a whole list of them on my desktop in a notepad file. Dark Souls 2 is easy enough to slot in. I had an idea for Thief 1 that I reckon could be quite fun, and as I said, loads more ideas, but none of them have happened. But for the most part this year, we've just had kind of one-off videos. The 12 crazy secrets that you won't believe clickbait was, well, clickbait for April Fools. I pulled every possible awful idea out for it just to see what would happen. It was a crap list of not very specific or secret things in Guild Wars 2. Misinformation, overhype, constantly begging for likes and goals and dumb YouTube-y crap like that. Advertising all your social media, including all defunct links and all that kind of stuff like MySpace and Bebo and Habbo Hotel and all, just terrible. With just a couple of actually legitimate secrets sprinkled in there, so it wasn't totally awful, and it did keep a little bit of credibility. Like, you know, some YouTubers do that kind of stuff, and I think it's absolutely awful. Anyway, most of you got the joke, so well done on that. but a few people genuinely didn't, and I got some dislikes and hate on that. Probably from the people who didn't get it, or maybe from those YouTubers who genuinely do get a viewership on that and disliked being taken the piss out of. Or, you know, people who genuinely thought that that's what my content is normally like and didn't like it, but again, sort of whoosh on that one, right? Behind the scenes of the Noon Evening News did get made. It was 30 minutes of pure explanation of how, when, why, how, and why, and how, and repeat myself, how things worked out in the AEN roleplay video. It took me bloody hours to produce that, and I thought it was right professional and everything, but again, it didn't get very much attention, so it left me feeling pretty deflated in the end. I'm glad I did it, don't get me wrong, but you know, it's kind of the whole point of all this is to get some discussion going, and there just wasn't a lot. Anyway, the more effort I seem to put into some things, the less I get out of them, it seems. It's quite strange. YouTube is weirdly soul-sucking like that sometimes. Not to make this an entirely negative video, but it's just kind of the way things seem to go, oddly. Anyway, I think it's a worthwhile video if you're interested in machinima, or editing, or just want some stories from Guild Wars 2 community members. So there's that. I still really liked it, I just wish it got some more attention, of course. Of course, it's all about that, really, isn't it? Dirt Rally feeling the Lancia speed difference. Terrible name, by the way, but that was an oddball video. I was trying to put into words just how slow the first cars in the game felt compared to the Group B cars, and frankly I just couldn't, so I did a side-by-side comparison video to show off the big gap, and that was that, really. I still think I could push that delta so much faster than I did, though. Maybe Finland would have been really good to open that gap. But I chose Wales, because the Wales stage is hell of a lot of fun to drive, and Finland would have just been crashing, and crashing, and crashing, and crashing. Yeah. Guild Wars 2 Ascension actually was an over-analysis of the little kiddos in Path of Fire that were role-playing the Ascension missions from Guild Wars 1. It was cleverly done to emulate some mistelling of the events over the years, so I thought I'd break open the rant machine and really tear it apart for a laugh, really. It was fun, and I had fun breaking down all the little elements of that incredibly minor part of the expansion, and I appreciated the nods to it from the writers there, so yeah, cool stuff there. That was fun to do. A few more Guild Wars 2 videos here. The Renegade Heal Support build video was a run-of-the-mill build video for me. I just showed off an alternative healer/support build for high-level fractals at the time, and it was a truly interesting and quite high skill cap build alternative to something like a druid. I think it's still good too. They've changed a bit of it, like the altruism runes aren't quite perfect. Maybe still keep them though. I don't know. Maybe go monk runes. Anyway, I think the video did quite well and should stand the test of time, as long as they don't nerf it even further, because of course we want to nerf that, because why would we have any alternatives to Chrono and Druid? Thanks, ain't it? The Roller Beetle rally video was literally just a silly idea that I had to mix a rally game's UI to the Roller Beetle races in Guild Wars 2. Simple as that. I like mashing up games that don't make a whole lot of sense, and somehow coming out with something unique. Case in point would be the Doomgineer video with Doom and Guild Wars 2. That kind of worked out really well. Previously I've done Oblivion and Guild Wars 1, and I think I did something else as well at some point, but I'm trying to remember what it was and I've no idea. But yeah, I like doing that kind of thing. If I can ever get any more ideas of how to do those sorts of things, I will probably do them. But I don't really want to make it like a mainstay, because those ideas just are more like flashes of inspiration of just like, oh, this is a cool idea. And if I don't act on it immediately, it probably never gets made. Anyway, the pace notes for this one were fun to write and commentate, but the UI elements ended up being really fiddly and time consuming to animate. Some people asked me to do other tracks as well, but I said that they weren't particularly interesting enough to bother with. Diessa has too many straight lines, for example. Brisbane has too many just flat out corners, and so does Gandharan Fields, so I didn't want to do those. I don't think there's any point. Also, weirdly, I got asked to write those down as a guide for the wiki, and I feel like written pace notes for a fast-paced thing like the Beetle races just wouldn't work. Like, it doesn't work as a guide that way. I think you're completely missing the point of how pace notes are structured in a rally, because you can't just read them while you're rallying because there's too much to think about already. Like, yeah, it's not going to be a written guide. Sorry, no. Skyrim, A Night at the Museum was a Halloween video based on the Legacy of the Dragonborn Gallery mod. There's a suitably spooky quest in there, and I figured it would make for a nice exploration type let's play video in the style of my Fallout exploration videos that I did in 2017? Jeez. So it's edited to keep up the pace, but also the atmosphere and story combined with the commentary. Overall, I'm just happy with how this turned out. It's pretty good. I think. If I can blow my own trumpet for just a second, I don't know, maybe you guys can tell me otherwise. I cut out an excerpt from a stream on the Long Live the Lich episode in Guild Wars 2 where I talked about the, for a relative length, about the story in a way that I would normally used to do in my old patch review videos for the Living World. I wanted to test the waters on you guys and see if you still wanted that sort of a video, so I grabbed it, put it up, and I think I managed to do a decent job of discussing Joko, Aurene and all the implications of all that stuff, but I didn't get really many comments on it, so I've no idea really what many of you guys thought, which basically told me that it's sort of not worth it, so yeah. The Gran Turismo 2 All Gold license video was also cut from streams. I did stream the entire game as a full playthrough, but first was the challenge of getting all the golds on all the license tests, which I think is one of the hardest things I've ever done in any video game ever, and still think it stands the test of one of those particularly hard challenges, probably at least from the PS1 era. I don't know about like NES and SNES eras, but I still think it's pretty hard. Honestly, with that video I just wanted to show off, but it is, I think, quite a useful guide for anybody who's stuck on them, because I do show my controller inputs on the screen in real time and provide some relatively okay commentary on how I'm beating things as I go. It's a guide, sort of, maybe. There's plenty of others out there on the internet, but I just kind of wanted to show off anyway. It's a thankless task really, but it's helping people, I'm sure. The final video to mention is Twitch streams with Magical Mike, and this one, I hate to say it, but it kind of sucked. I was so nervous about putting it out, and I didn't want to alienate or annoy my audience, you guys listening right now over here on YouTube. I wanted to be clear and honest and get my message across, while also trying to encourage you all to come and watch the streams on Twitch. I put so much time into that little video and was so nervous about the reception I was going to get with it. So when I got just absolute silence and hardly any views on it, I was genuinely annoyed and so disappointed. I'd ended up having a bit of a rant about it on one stream as well. I don't know what to say. It hurts a lot to see your audience kind of dwindling over time, but it really sucks a lot to not get any response at all to any sort of creative content. And you'll know that feeling if you make any videos or similar stuff yourself and don't get any comments. It's honestly super lame. And I don't mean to sound entitled or anything, like I know I don't deserve necessarily more views than I got or more comments than I got or whatever. I know very well how this all sounds, but it's really hard to not take that sort of thing personally. All I really wanted people to do was just kind of react in some way, and I was just met with silence, and that's the thing that really kind of disappointed me so much. Aside from all that, I did not do the Doomgineer behind the scenes video, and neither did I manage to do the RPG series videos. The reason for those being that I thought that the effort didn't seem super worth it, and after the AEN BTS and the RPG, lots of letters there, stuff, I just never found the time to dedicate to those things. I still could, I still have these opportunities available, but whether or not they'll ever happen at this point, I've no idea. None at all. Just not in 2018. I did, however, start streaming. A lot. I mean, tons. You'd know if you'd seen anything recent or follow me on Twitch. I'm live as often as I can be, mostly at night or very early mornings. GMT, that is. I streamed entire playthroughs of Enderall, which is a huge Skyrim overhaul mod, which I've talked about previously, Gran Turismo 2, Silent Hill 1 and 2 for Halloween. I've done a chunk of Dirt Rally, and I'm currently in the middle of a current playthrough of Pathfinder Kingmaker as a cleric, which is a CRPG in the style of Baldur's Gate and such. Currently I'm over 200 hours into that playthrough, which is all saved on Twitch. That's right now, so yeah, streaming a lot, Milado. I told you, yeah. And in fact, we hit the first subscriber goal over there as well, so I'll be doing a Rocksmith stream where I attempt to play my bass to a not entirely awful level, which is going to be embarrassing for me, but hopefully fun for you lot to watch, hopefully. But I can guarantee this, utter complete embarrassment for me, because I don't think I'm very good, and I have never performed live with an instrument, so that's gonna be a thing. In fact, I'm planning for that thing to happen at the end of the month, so at the probably the last weekend of January, hopefully. So what else for 2019? Well, first of all, more streaming for sure, because I'm loving it. Having the audience interaction is infinitely better than the often silence I get here on YouTube, and it's so much easier to stream something than it is to make a video, to then edit things and script things, gather all the footage, balance the audio, make good points. All of that stuff just does not matter on a stream, and it's more fun because I just get to actually play the stuff that I want to play the way I want to, instead of taking a break to record something and then getting hopelessly distracted. Seriously, if you for some reason want me to make more content, then just come to the streams, because I've got so much stuff going on there. Give it a chance. Twitch isn't bad, and my chat is friendly as hell. I am, or I try to be. So go on. Twitch TV /MagicalMike2. Links are in the description, and I'll put them on screen if you want them, as well as my Twitter, and be sure to follow and maybe subscribe on there as well to help support the channel financially for upgrades in the immediate future. Yes. I'd also like to do a quids in for Dirt Rally. When is that going to happen? No idea. But the game deserves it, because it's frankly amazing. I put more hours into that in the last year than probably much anything else. It's amazing. I had other ideas for quids in as well. GTA 5's single player deserves it, not the multiplayer. But is it worth my time to make it if it gets so little attention? It's hard to justify the opportunity cost, so we'll see. I don't know, I've complained about quids in more than enough these past few minutes, so I should probably move on. Recently in should probably pop up here and there. I don't see why not. It's still lazy content for me. It's pretty simple stuff. Keep it simple, stupid is a good mantra for that one. Enderall needs to happen in that series, and I don't know what else yet. Probably Pathfinder, well, maybe a quid's in for that. The Iron Man series might make a return. Like I said, I've got ideas for it, but it might actually work better as a stream idea with multiple attempts instead of videos. Maybe I could cut them out of streams and put them on here. I don't know, it's something to consider. Let me know what you guys think, I suppose. The BTS on the Doom Engineer, I promise this every time. Maybe it's time to just delete that footage. I don't know on this one. A solid maybe on that. No promises at all. RPG videos, I'd like to talk about why I love character creation, both mechanically and as just a face value of how a character can be shaped in looks in games. I'd also like to talk about progression systems in games and how that's fun to play with, then maybe make various build videos for different games. Again, I'm not sure, it's an idea I've had for years but not found the time to dedicate to. No promises again, but I do often sit here and consider it, so you know, I want to do stuff on YouTube. I have all these ideas and they're just like, I haven't really got the time and I can't be bothered, and yeah, I'll consider it. We'll see. The last thing, and probably one of the more important things I wanted to get your guys' opinion on, is uploading streams directly to this channel. Now I really don't know about this, so please, if anything else, let me know what you guys think about this bit. Just outright uploading stream VODs to the channel, not cut, not really edited in any way, just putting them here as an archive. I think it might clutter things up a lot, but at least there would be a steady flow of content over here, and then if you didn't want to go to Twitch and watch live or check out the archives on that website, they'd be here instead. Seriously, let me know about this one. I'm super on the fence about it, but I'm thinking about it because I hardly do edited videos these days, and don't like my sporadic upload schedule that doesn't really exist. And no, I'm not going to make a second channel because this one's already monetized, and yes, that is the reason I'm considering it. I'll say that up front, so please tell me what you think. I have, in the past, put up stream videos, or stream VODs just in their entirety. I think I did the Guild Wars 1 Wayfarer's Reverie stuff, and I had a little bit of feedback about that I should make that second channel, but I just don't think it would be worth the effort in doing that as well. And since there's barely any content on this channel, like, there'd at least be something. I don't know. Yeah, just let me know what you guys think. Any feedback? Please, 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 please do tell me. And that was another long boy video, wasn't it? I always let these things get away from me every year, don't I? Well, there you go. Hopefully this was somewhat informative of what I'm thinking. Just getting my thoughts down on paper, as it were, so that you guys know where I'm coming from. And if not, well, at least I'll be able to look at it myself at the end of 2019 and get an idea of where the hell I was at and what I was thinking. Anyway, follow me on the Twitch at twitch.tv/MagicalMike2 for the streams. Check my Twitter at YTMagicalMike for updates on things. And if you want to get in contact with me, that's the best and easiest place to do so, and it has been for several years. In fact, I don't really advertise my Twitter very much, but there you go. Anyway, leave a comment and a like if you want to on this video, and hopefully you guys will have a good year as well. Anyway, cheers for watching, I'll see you guys next time.